command, give us strength! Melee troops awaiting orders! Melee infantry at your command! Equites promoti!
By your command. At your service. Yours to command. Forward. As you command. Lord is often mighty in battle. Ready. Heavy cavalry ready and willing. Riders, advance!
The enemy has reinforcements!
Advance at speed! Riders, advance!
Equites promoti! Forward! Ready and waiting! Ready and waiting! For God in heaven! Cataphractoriae! Melee cavalry ready! Your orders! Equites promoti!
We await your command. Quickly now! Bastards, aim low!
Melee
We have sighted the enemy!
Equites promoti! Advance at speed!
Monastery!
Ready!
Form testudo and defend!
Ready! Heaven can wait!
Stand ready! Defensive testudo! Defensive testudo!
Riders, at the double! Yes, Commander! Your orders understood! By your command! Riders advance! Understood! Orders! Yes, Commander! Leaders, advance!
Our general is being attacked! Keep him alive!
Advance! The double! Yes, Commander! Warriors of Christ!
Monastery! Yes, Commander! As you command!
Advance and speed! Advance and speed! March! Orders understood! Catch Victoriae! Forward! Commander! By your command! Yours to command! Ready and waiting!
Our men flee the field of battle! This is a shameful display!
It's at the double! By your command! Warriors of Christ! Engage! Orders! Commander! Orders! As you command! Orders understood! Orders understood! Advance! Yours to command! Away! Well done!
Men are broken and are fleeing!
As you command! Yes, Commander! Ready! Understood! Ready! Ready for orders!
Understood! Yes, Commander!
March!
Orders understood!
Warriors of Christ! Engage! Ready and waiting! Orders understood! Yours to command! Orders! Understood!
By your command! Understood!
Ready and waiting! By your command!
Quick march!
Yes, Commander! Right out! Ready!
The general has been killed! Excellent! By your command!
Ready and waiting! Orders understood!
Yes, Commander!
Orders! Glory! Forward! Commander!
We await your command!
For the good Lord!
Palestinian! As you command!
By your command! As you command!
Warriors of Christ!
We await your command!
Enemy units have rallied and returned to the battle!
It's a Pretoria!
Understood!
By your... At your service!
Palestinian! Yes, Commander! Attack, you worthless dogs! Our men have given up and are running for their lives!
Capture Pretoria! As you command! Hold back!
Palestinian! As you command!
are broken and running for their lives.
March! Yes, Commander! Riders at the double!
We await your command. Engage! At your service.
As you command! Yes, Commander! Quickly now!
Palestinian! Yes, Commander. By your command. As you command.
Yours to command! March! March! Heavy horse at your command! Commander! Yours to command!
As you command. God give us strength!
Enemy units have returned to the battle.
At speed! Orders understood!
Double time!
Orders understood!
Ready! By your command! Commander!
Yes, Commander.
Engage!
Riders at the double!
We await your command! Catch a Bractoriae!
Waiting.
Awaiting orders! At speed! Advance at speed!
Engage!
your service! Cats of Rectoriae! Engage! Withdraw!
Our men have given up and are running for their lives.
Glory! Reaper, take our enemies! Cats of Rectoriae! Yes! Warriors, at the double! There's a advance! Warriors of Christ! Advance and speed! Cats of Rectoriae! Riders, advance! Ready for orders!
Enemy units have been rallied.
Ready, troops! Yes, Commander! Engage!
The men are broken and running for their lives. The enemy are losing their advantage. Victory! This is...
There is a time when warriors must sheathe the sword and talk for the good of their word.
Hi guys, Lewted host here with another dank stream. I was supposed to stream yesterday, but I decided not to because I didn't think I didn't think I'd have enough time. So I'm streaming today. Today we're talking about the Franks once again. I know I talk about them a lot, but I thought that it would be good to talk about them again, especially since mods are basically plaguing multiplayer right now. And I mean, Attila's pretty much dead, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, let me just go up to custom battle. So yeah, the Franks, as you might know if you've played the game long enough, are like the masters of precursors. They technically have the dangerous precursors in the game. Their throwing axes do more damage than the other factions. For example, the noble Swabi swordsmen have the same one, I think. Yeah, they have the same one, but like the Franks have the most units that have it. I think that's one of the reasons why I like the noble Swabi swordsmen too. They have the same throwing axe. But anyway, the Franks rely on these throwing axes more than they rely on shield wall. The Franks can do well initially, but they're very mid-late game-ish like the other barbarian kingdoms. And you'll notice this in campaigns. You might not notice it so much in multiplayer. But the sword hereband are offensive. These guys do well out of shield wall. That's kind of a mistake I put in my guide. I said that they do well, that you should stay stationary and then shield wall. Stay stationary and then go into shield wall. You don't have to. The same thing with the Milites Comitatenses. These guys do have more melee defense but less armor. And so technically they're supposed to do more offensive roles. However, staying stationary is still important, so you should still do that. Anyway, like I said, the Franks have the most of these precursors on their units. They have 5, because I forgot the Axe Hereband and the Francisca Hereband. So they have 5 in total. The Vandals and the Swabi only have 1 unit, and the Norsemen have 1 unit as well that carries the throwing axes. However, they do less damage. So basically, one thing I didn't put in my unit spotlight for the sword hereband was that they're more cost effective offensively than defensively because of their charge bonus. However, you still want to throw your precursors, because if you don't, chances are you'll lose against other factions. I think most of their price comes from the precursors themselves. Because freemen have 5 less melee attack, 5 less charge, 5 less defense. Armor wise, 7 less. Health is just 19 more health. So, and they cost a lot more. They cost twice the price of freemen. And yet the stats are fairly similar. So with the addition of shield wall, with the addition of the precursors, I think that is why they cost so much. But again, I don't know how the pricing system works in this game yet. Anyway, what I like about the Franks is their precursors, but I also like that they're probably the hardest barbarian kingdom to learn and to master as well. The elements are pretty hard to use overall, especially if you're an offensive player, because you have to rely on offensive spears instead of swords and axes. But and they also have defensive swords. But once you get to know them really well, they can become really easy to master. So for example, when I started off, I'm not gonna show a replay of it because I archived my replays. I was like, this roster looks terrible. You know, their spears basically cost similar to the Germanic spear roster. All they have is like 3 different spears, 2 different swords. No, 3 different swords, my bad. And then they have a stolen Roman artillery unit. Nothing too important. Yeah, not a lot of people know about the captured Ballistra, but it's a little neat thing that they added in. And I forgot to add that the Longbeards do counter factions, but they're kind of weird. Like, for example, the Longbeards are pretty good against other barbaric factions. The Alamans in the campaign are good against the Romans overall. And then the Burgundians have barbed javelins, which are good against everything, but are very good against cavalry. And so that makes them useful against, like, the Huns, for example. Anyway, back on track. What I like about the Franks is not only their precursors, but their kind of approach in battles. It's very different from the other factions because, of course, their precursors can't damage cavalry at a far range like the other factions. And so most of your strength again does come from your precursors, but a lot of your strength also comes from them landing because they're accurate and being offensive when the time is right. Like, you could push into the late game with Royal Astruciones and Elite Sword Hirban, but if you're going up against someone like who's very good offensively and who can out micro you, you know, chances are I don't even know if these guys would be effective. If you're like the casual gamer that doesn't micro that much, yeah, these guys are good. But if you can micro, Sword Hirban, you know, you want to protect them obviously from cavalry and stuff, because they don't have a lot of armor and are medium. Elite Sword Hirban are heavy. Anyway, it's a good faction. And then they have Sacra Francisca, who have 57 armor, which is great, 245 health, which is good, 245 charge, and then wedge. And then I still haven't updated my guide for the Typhali Cavalry, but there's a lot you get with Typhali Cavalry. Even though their stats are pretty bad, you know, there's something that, you know, makes it worthwhile, in my opinion. So yeah, pretty much the Franks don't get played properly a lot, and I can understand why. You know, not a lot of people know how to play as the Franks properly, and at first I didn't either. Like, the Franks were technically the first faction that I got a major victory with in the Grand Campaign. My first campaign the first campaign that I completed was the last Roman one as the Roman Expedition. I just stayed as a separatist and won. I'm actually not going to play any multiplayer today. I was going to continue with my last Roman campaign, but I'm not going to bother. Not on stream anyway. I did the Allen's campaign. I did not update the guide yet to show it, so if you want to see it, you won't be able to yet. Unless, of course, you go to the Chronicle site and then look me up. I'm still working with the Danes. The Guard Mansions I did complete, if you didn't know. Sclavenians I still have to work with. The Sclavenian campaign's hard, man. It's hard. I'm getting Vandal Berserkers. I think I already have access to them, actually. But this campaign's pretty brutal, too. But it's the only it's the latest campaign that I haven't completed. The Alamans one I just kept just in case. But I wanted to do this one first. So the rest of the stream is probably going to be about the Sclavenians. Because, even though the Slavs are technically overpowered, like, they can counter shock cavalry as well. And I don't want to do a stream dedicated to them because I know people don't like them, like in multiplayer. They say that, you know, the Slavs are unbalanced, overpowered, and they are, but they're also really easy to counter if you have the Celts. I mean, they have no melee cavalry, they have no shock cavalry, all they have is skirmisher cavalry. They don't have bows, so makes sense. Unfortunately, I'm still at war with the Huns. So much has happened. Unfortunately, I had separatists. I'm gonna have more separatists. So I'm obviously riding the struggle bus, as it were.
Ready for orders. Come, fight for us, lads.
Do not waste words. My people are well.
The funny thing, though, is because the Huns are at war with us, even though they've raised like a bunch of territories, they didn't even make it to the Eastern Roman territories. They haven't made it to here, and we are at a point right now where they should have been over here. They should have been here. Like, a few of these territories should have been raised too. I think the Western Roman Empire still got defeated, which they're supposed to be. Well, actually, they aren't completely defeated, but they're getting there. Also, these guys are pretty good for, like, building cities. Anyway, back to what I was saying. This campaign is on the verge of being lost itself. But I'm still going to do it just because I think I have a chance.
For the tribe!
But I might have to do it off stream. If nobody is watching... Oh no, somebody is watching. But, yeah, there's another two, separatists. Separatists are not fun to deal with, but there's nothing much you can do about them. Especially as a Slavic faction, like, the best thing you can do to counter separatists as a Slavic faction is just to prevent the Huns from raising your territory. But yeah, basically we're in a lot of trouble because the Huns are just going to start raising all of this territory and I can't defend it. So what I might have to do is start another campaign where I do fight the Huns still, but I don't overextend myself. And then, of course, I want to do an N-Team campaign. I said this before, like a few streams back, but I started an N-Team campaign. I even streamed it, but it didn't work out well in the end, and the Huns got me. But I know what I have to get now.
You have recruited so many units, the treasury is buckling under the weight of their upkeep. Capturing new territory would spread the cost, as well as putting your troops to good use.
Thirsty for battle! Ready for orders! Warriors all!
There are not enough funds in your treasury to build anything this turn. Increase taxation and trade, or disband redundant armed forces to raise your short-term income.
For the tribe! Thirsty for battle! Ready for orders! Thirsty for battle! Move out! Surprise will be our advantage. Ready for battle! Aidan! Kichitan!
Kill them all!
Battle ready and eager! Spears!
Ready for battle!
Run! Makumilet! Their general is dead! A lethal blow! They are trying to take out our general! Defend him! The men are wavering! We are losing our advantage! Our men are wavering! Warriors, eager for blood! Spear